like anybody has unmuted themselves, so you made it to where they can't, which is good. Okay, cool. All right, and we're spotlighted.
We are spotlighted.
Yay!
Everybody can see us, right?
Okay.
Good. All right, they can see us, so we're good to go.
All right, let's get started.
You want to start us off?
Yes. You want to start recording?
It is recording.
Awesome. So we are really excited to have you guys on our leadership call this month. I'm Chloe. This is Justin. We are y'all's superstar directors, up line. For some of y'all, and honestly, your greatest hype squad. It's kind of embarrassing if you guys knew how excited we got about y'all. But let's just go over first. We're going to go over some recognition. We're going to go over the sales, new directors, new star directors, and then top in different categories. So we had 2 new directors in January. I believe they were in Ray and Katie's group. I believe. If they were not, I'm so sorry. But we had Trina Thurston and Kim Calarco. Kim Calarco. I love that last name. So congratulations, Trina and Kim. That's huge. One of them was a lead, I believe.
And
it literally went from lead to director, which is freaking insane. Okay. Courtney PS is like, yes. So I mean, I don't even know these 2 women, but y'all are literally incredible. And then we had 1 new star director, Megan Fender. She is literally the sweetest person you've ever met.
Megan.
And she does Cincy full time, and
awesome.
She's a boss. She's also under Katie and Ray's group. So their group is really blowing up.
Did you go over to group sales, what we did in January yet?
I wanted to call out our new directors first. That's more important to me than some sales.
I know, that's awesome.
Is those 2 promotions. Directors, huge. That's what most of y'all are striving for.
In January,
okay, so okay.
That's hard. That's good.
Do you want me to do it or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our sales for January were 3 million. Y'all know that. Y'all can see it on the group pages. That's really, really good. Especially for January,
yes,
obviously. So y'all did 3 million in sales. So chain. Top 10 PRV for January. I'm going to fly through these, but this kind of stuff is really important to us. So Tori Farrell, if y'all don't know her, she's literally an animal. She did over 12,000 in sales last month. And I believe, I don't even know if she has a YouTube channel. I need to find out because we need to get her content. Amen. Number 2 in sales, Jennifer Jackson. Number 3, Katie Lassiter, our baby mama. Number 4, Abigail Johnson. Number 5, me and Jay. Number 6, Deanna Jean Valentine. I may have cut off the last letter of your name. I'm sorry. Number 7, Caitlin Foster. Number 8, Courtney Reyes. Number 9, Caitlin Hunt. And number 10, Carlia McDaniel. She's a new one. So congratulations being in top 10 out of 12,000. Top 10 TWV. So as a leader, I'm just going to tell you guys really quick, TWV is a huge reflector of what? Team growth. So you're going to hear me and Justin talk a lot about TWV, recognizing TWV, because that's literally how you promote, right?
Yeah.
You cannot promote without it. So it's really important that you're always refilling that TWV cup.
Well, and it's cool because GWV looks cool and helps you out as far as, GWV is for getting to the next title, but you get paid off TWV.
Yes.
So that's one thing to always look at. You get paid a lot off TWV, and then when you get to a director, that's when you start getting paid down on generations.
Yes.
But TWV is your bread and butter.
Yeah. Super, super important to always be focused on that TWV, especially starting as a lead consultant, just already implementing that. Like, I wish I understood TWV. I wish I understood how to calculate it, how to promote sooner, how to do all those things. Just make sure you really, really know your compensation plan. Okay. And if you don't, ask on your team page, ask your director, ask your star director, ask your superstar director, so we can text you or voice text you to help you understand. So top 10 TWV for January. Number 1 was me and Justin's team, Anchored Scent Slays. I am waiting for somebody to beat us. Come beat us, please. We are waiting. But Anchored Scent's team, we killed it last month with over 120,000. Second was Melanie and Gordon McCourt. Congratulations. 3rd, Katie Laster. 4, Stacey Edwards. 5, Whitney Hebel. 6, Chastity Robinson. 7, Ray. 8, Caitlin Foster. 9, Queena Tillman. And 10, Sarah Godwin. I'm so freaking proud to say all those names. Huge. And I'm proud of all of you, by the way. I just can't say 12,000 names in a call, you know what I'm saying? But just know I'm proud of all of you. Top 10 active frontline for January. Active frontline is that second bread and butter. Why? That's your personal business, and you always want to increase that active frontline number. I actually have a chart that I made in my head, and I have it in a Google Drive. I'll share that on the team or on the leadership page, so y'all can see what my recommendations are for, if you're a lead, this is how many you want to shoot for active frontline a month. If you're a star, superstar, etc. And it'll really help you understand kind of my brain and the way, if you want to make money on it, you know what I'm saying? Because 3 is the minimum if you're a superstar consultant and above for active frontline. But why would you just want 3 active frontline, right? Why would we want the bare minimum? So top 10 active frontline for January, me and Justin, number 1, Chastity Robinson, number 2, Katie Laster, number 3. And if you hear even people that you know, shout them out, congratulate them. This is a big deal. Number 4, Ray Ray. Number 5, Faye Ciampa. Number 6, Whitney Hebel. 7, Caitlin Foster. 8, Melanie and Gordon McCourt. 9, Stacey Edwards. And 10, Sarah Godwin. Wow, Sarah Godwin coming up for star director this year.
She is.
We coming for star director.
She said SSD.
Let's go, boo. Yeah. Let's go. And then last but not least, top recruits for January. And I just want to say these names, like, this is incredible because January, it can be a hard month to sponsor, and it's always a low sponsoring month. So congratulations to the following. Sorry, I got a piece of ginger in my throat. The struggle is so real right now with me.
That burns.
Yeah, it does. All right, so number 1, we had India Creel with 5 new recruits, Kelly Williams with 4, Kimberly Nation with 4, Amber Wolford with 4. Amber Wolford's a new one on here. Yeah. This is her first con. She recruited 4 people last month. I see you, boo. I see you. Katie Lassiter with 3, Caitlin Foster with 3, Kim Calarco with 3, Deanna Castillo with 3, Amanda Ashley with 3, Caitlin Hunt with 3. All these people are 3. Veronica Stevenson, Genevieve Gardner, Nicole Utton, Caitlin Tiller, Courtney Reyes, and Carly Turner. Congratulations. Awesome. So let's get right into the content.
Yes.
I know I'm going to go first, but do you just want to open it up real quick with why you wanted to do this topic? Justin chose this topic.
I just think it's important. So if you guys read through the outline, if not, so I think it's important to understand what anticipation means and what critical thinking means in regards to direct sales. Because it's a lot different when you apply this to direct sales than, in life in general, because there's a lot of things that's within your control, but there are a ton of things that are outside your control.
So many, right?
So you have to get really good at anticipating and thinking critically. And so I just felt like now's the time, especially going into a new catalog season after the evolution that happened in 2021. It was so hard to be proactive, and it was a kind of a reactive year. I think it's now that last year was so reactive, it's back. We need to get back to being proactive. And the way you do that is through critical thinking, anticipating. So I just think that's something that needs to be covered. And I don't think we've ever done a training on it, honestly.
No, and honestly, this was as a nurse. So I used to be a nurse. For those of you that don't know, I had my bachelor's degree. I worked on the floor for 5.5 years, and critical thinking is how you save people's lives. Like, you had to critically think for 12 hours straight. So if you work in the medical field or you do that, this is something already ingrained in your brain, and a lot of other professions too. So I want you guys to think about that as we're training you. Think about the current work, where you work at now, or, if you're at home and you're a stay-at-home mom, you're raising kids, you have to critically think all the time. So I want y'all thinking about your own life as you hear us train tonight.
Yeah.
And how you can implement critical thinking into your business.
Well, and as leaders, the main thing that you guys want to take away from this is you're having a self within, and then taking what you learned here tonight and sharing it as a resource with your team to help them. So that's huge, because what you want to get, we talked about
independent consultants.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We talked about this early on, is starting every consultant off as soon as they sign up that they're an independent consultant, that you're there as a resource. But at the end of the day, you're not there to hold their hand. You're there to point them in the way, because leaders are developed. They just don't come. So you have to develop leaders. Now, there are some people that have the natural born skill to go, but at the end of the day, they have to be developed. And the way you develop them is giving them the resources they need to be successful and staying consistent.
For sure. You gotta grow as you go. Right. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. So those of y'all that didn't see this, we have the notes on the team page. When this is on YouTube, we'll drop it in the comments. But first, I'm just going to say, like, my favorite quote from my dad: circle of control and circle of concern. Focus on your circle of control. He always told me that growing up in high school, in relationships, when I dated him, in friendships. Don't focus on all of the things that you can't control, that are out of your yard, right?
Yeah.
We've got to focus on our yard this year, right? We got to focus on our business and on the things that we know that we need to develop as leaders, right? So before we go over the content below, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you have not written out, typed out, put on a, one of my leaders has a chalkboard wall. Shay actually has one. It's really cool. The one you want to put here.
Yeah.
And she writes hers on there. If you have not written out your goals and your dreams for this year, please do that. You deserve that. I don't care if it's on a freaking sticky note. Write it down. Write it down. And I'm going to keep saying that until y'all do, because, you know, you've got to manifest that. You have to manifest these things in order for them to happen. Every single thing in our life that has happened, especially with Scentsy, we have manifested it. We have worked hard. We have written it down. We have engraved it into our brains. So yes, moving forward, let's talk about being proactive. All right. So you guys can see the notes, but you know, with proactive leaders, you know, we don't wait for a problem to arrive to find the solution. Okay. With proactive leaders, you want to study the culture and adjust your sails. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about like ships and pirates the next few minutes, because, you know, Anchored Sense, I was like, let's keep it on that. But you got to adjust the sails, and you have to know how to respond, and you have to know how to react. I'm going to be 100% transparent. I am horrible at this. Okay. I'm very emotional. I react out of emotions a lot. My friends, people on here, y'all know that that's who I am as a person. But I love you guys, but I'm always a work in progress. So I want you guys to understand.
I don't call it emotion. I call that passion.
It is.
There's
It's
a
passion
difference between
and
emotion and passion,
yeah.
but you got to just learn how to control.
Yeah, like for example, like if I have a team member that does nothing and I trained her and did all these things, I can get emotional about that. You know what I mean? It's just, we've got to learn and start setting these boundaries of, okay, I did everything I knew that I could do as a leader for my new recruiter, for that team member or whatever. And you have to learn to let the rest go and know that it's just not your job to get them to do these things so they can be blessed. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. So adjusting the sails is really important. When you are you're the leader, right? So when you have one team member, you're a leader, one. And with that one person, you're steering that ship. You're the one controlling where that ship's going. Are y'all going to be negative today or positive? Are you going to work on the LTOs, or are you just going to ignore it like it never happened and not post about it? You're in the ship. You're steering the direction your team is going to go. So it's really, really important that you guys think in your head, what does that look like right now? Are you consistently showing up for your team? Not being overbearing. I used to schedule a post on my team and leadership page. You guys should know by now I don't do that anymore. So I'm not saying you have to be there every day, but you do need to show them that you're alive, that you're working, that you're consistent, that you're producing, that you're showing them how to produce, all of those things. Because everybody on your team is going to do different roles. So I kind of broke it down on a pirate ship. There's a lot of different people. So there's the captain, the first mate, the quartermate, sailing master. Do you know all this?
I was about to say, did you Google this?
I did Google it. I researched it.
I was about to say, you did not know all that.
I knew it, you know, in my spare time.
You did go to ECU though, so you may
Yes,
have
I did. But there's the gunner, the powder monkey, the boat, the
powder monkey.
He packs the guns.
Oh, okay.
The boatswain, the surgeons, whoop, whoop, and the cooks. So you need the whole crew for the ship to function, right? You got to have it all. And for you guys to have a balanced team, don't think so much balance with you like doing everything right. Think more balance of you being an in-person leader, you showing up, you showing them you're there. You're saying, hey, this is how I'm getting these LTOs out to the customers. Here's my email. I literally will post my straight email on my team page, guys. When I send those emails to my customers, I'll be like, here, plug in your info, guys. Here's this. Your teams want to see how you're working. They want ideas. So don't overthink it also with your teams, like especially with team calls and whatnot. Don't think that you have to be all scripted and do all of this. We have content on this one that's really like scripted out because it's the leadership call. Yeah. But don't think you have to do that. You literally, what I used to do, we'd talk about how I'm working. Like we would literally, I don't even know if Justin remembers the calls, but yeah, we used to just talk about like how we're working, the scent of the month, how to access that, what's coming up, how to sell, how to sample, how to do all that. Think about that. You just need to share with your teams things that you're seeing success in. That's it. Don't overthink it. You don't have to be, you know, let's go ahead and just nip the comparison right now. We're not doing that this year. So a proactive culture is a safe culture. Okay. This is important. When you are proactive in your business, your culture is going to feel safe. They're going to trust what you have to say. They're going to show up at your events. Now this could start with just one showing up at the event because it starts with one, right? But I want you to know that there is power in consistency and then feeling safe, right? Like you guys know these calls are every month. Me and Justin are going to show up for you guys. We're not just going to wither away because we don't feel like it, right? Mm-hmm. It makes you feel safe. It makes you feel like you're going to learn. It makes you feel like you're a part of something. And that's important, right? Because not everybody joins Cincy on your team for money. You know, people are joining for relationships. They're joining to get out of their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, people want to make money. Moving on, proactive doesn't mean perfect. It means present. You don't have to be a perfect leader. You just need to be a present leader. Don't get so scared because say for example, some of you haven't posted on your team page in a week or two, or you've just been an MIA leader. You took all of January and December off because you didn't feel like it. Get back on the horse, okay, and start sharing with your team right now. Don't wait. Start sharing now. It's really important that y'all don't beat yourself up over the past. Recognize what you've done, right? We talked a lot about that in our January call. And also whenever I did my little tips leading up to the new year, but it's really important that you let that go. You recognize what you need to do in your leadership, but you also let go of the guilt because if you don't, it will rip you apart. The next thing I want to talk a little bit about is systems. And Justin's actually going to dig a lot into like the critically thinking stuff, by the way. Mm-hmm. I'm just covering more of how I critically think to succeed in the business. Okay. So you'll see two different perspectives. So systems, guys, we got to focus on our own business this year. Mm-hmm. We don't need to be focusing on what we're sending out for team gifts, what we're recognizing, what new program we need to do, all these things when you don't even got a daggone system for how you place orders, for how you do Cincy Club, and I'm saying that out of the most respect so you guys can understand if your business is not in order, when you sponsor, you're going to get very overwhelmed.
Yes.
Because you're not going to have your own yard in place, your own systems in place for your parties. And when you close orders and when you do all these things, and it's going to make you very, very overwhelmed. And that creates burnout. And that creates someone who doesn't want to critically think anymore because you're burnt out.
Now, and I'll just add in on that real quick. That doesn't mean,
Oh, there's people in the waiting room. We don't have a waiting room. There's a password, guys.
Yeah. There's a
Don't
password.
say the password. It's on YouTube. It's going on YouTube.
So okay, anyway. Yeah. The password's on the pages. So yeah. The password.
What were you? Did you want to say?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say, just feeding off Chloe a little bit about all the different things that you're focusing on. You have to make sure that your own yard, and she mentioned that, is taken care of too as a leader. So you got to make sure that you're doing things to always try to increase your PRV, increase your recruiting, to increase anything you can in your business to make sure you're on, because what you don't want to do is spend so much time on developing training programs, but not actually implementing that in your own business. I'll see that happen sometime with leaders too, and then they become a stagnant growth and they're just kind of stuck in where they're not growing.
Like
and it's because they're focusing on.
Yeah, if you don't have consistent 2,000 PRV a month, you don't need to be doing any program. And I'm just going to call it out because you need to be focusing on your yard.
Yeah.
Your yard. You don't need to be focused.
Look, you don't need to be people that are with now. If it's a program within your team, that's your team.
I wouldn't do a program if I didn't know how to get 2,000 PRV a month, because as a leader, to me, that 600 to me is important.
Yeah.
That's important to me. And you can teach your teams through going live on your Facebook page and showing them how you're working. You get more PRV, show them how you got that PRV. Show them. I'm a firm believer. If you don't have that engraved in your business, you don't need to be doing all the other things. And that's just my belief. And, people cannot agree with that, but hey, that's fine. I'm here to build leaders. I'm not here to build, mediocre people. Okay, moving forward, focusing on your own business, your own yard. So parties and recruiting is your job as a leader to be proactive in. So every month, especially for me, and I've trained on this before, when I first started Cincy, the first 4 years of my business, I sponsored 4 to 7 a month.
Yeah.
We were not playing games. We were not stopping at 2. We were going to keep going until mama could retire. And so last year I slowed down my recruiting. First time I've ever slowed it down to 1 to 2 a month. And I'm consistent now, 1 to 2 a month, but heavier in other months so I can earn a mentor. But it's important that you guys as leads and aboves, if you want to be a director, or if you want to, create financial freedom, which is obviously way past director, you have to have constant recruiting, and the slower you go, the slower you will grow.
Yeah.
People like to say, oh, I'm waiting for that quality recruit. You don't know where the quality recruit is going to be. There's been people Justin has seen join my team that he knew and I didn't know, and they're rocking it out. They're superstar consultants on our team now. Because Justin was like, just tell them to join. So I believe, and I'm going to say this till the day I die, you have to go through the quantity to find the diamonds, to find the quality. You cannot depend, okay, I'm going to wait and sponsor 2 people out of 4 months, but those 2 people are going to do really good when you could have been sponsoring 2 a month, right? So I want you guys to get that mentality as a leader, and there you go. And I want you guys thinking, am I being proactive right now in my parties? Do I know where my PRV is coming from? Break it down. If 2,000 PRV a month is 500 a week. That's 2 parties a week. Okay. That's customer follow-ups. That's Cincy Club. So break those goals down, but you should be being proactive and knowing where that PRV is going to come from the next month. The worst thing a leader can do is jump into a new month. And I used to be this person, but I used to jump into a new month and I'd be like, okay, I wasn't this person for long. I'm gonna tell you that. But in the beginning, I was like, okay, it's a new month. Let me plan. No. You need to know where the parties are coming from a week to 2 weeks before in that previous month. You need to constantly be having sponsoring conversations, building that list, feeding into that list, getting new customers. Guys, PRV is important because you got to find the customer to find the recruit, and leaders need to recruit. So if you're having low PRV, you're not having enough conversations to actually maintain and build a big business, right? So think about it that way. PRV should be secured. I already said that. For me, that's why I focused heavily on club. One of these days, y'all are going to realize why I focus so heavy on club, and y'all are going to catch it, and you're going to be like, that's why Chloe trains on it so much. That's why she tells you, because I don't worry about PRV ever. I don't worry about any PRV. I take care of my Cincy Club people and I get online orders. If somebody wants to do a party now, they can, but that's how I built my business now over the past year. Why? I wanted to free this year up. So when I came to train on these pages, I was giving you my best and not my last. Parties exhausted me. They were a lot. I did them for 7 years and I did a ton of them. You can ask Justin, 8 to 12 a month. But you've got to start thinking proactive as a leader in there's a reason why anything you guys see me share, it's going to make you money and it's going to free up your time. It's working smarter, not harder. So if you haven't shared club, watch my training on YouTube and listen to how I do Cincy Club, because it has freed up. Imagine freeing up, guys, and break it down. Even if you want to set a goal, put a poster in your office or something on the background of your phone of Cincy Club customers and make it a goal for every month. You're going to get just one mini habit, right? Just one Cincy Club. By the end of the year, you'll have 12. You know what I'm saying? So
mini habit.
And imagine working Cincy Club up to 500. You're already paid a title and you already know it. Everything else is extra. Does that make sense? So it's really important proactively, critically thinking. Those are the things that are going to help you not burn out as a leader. I am the most refreshed I've ever been in my business because I don't worry about parties. I don't have to anymore because I built club, and you can do it too, if that's what you want to do. So y'all can see some of the notes. I'm not going to go over all of these, but you don't want to run yourself ragged. You want to be proactive in your PRV and your sales. And self-reflecting is important. I kind of broke it down for you guys. 8 parties. If you're partying, 8 parties. Why? Half of them could join, 2 could fall off and do nothing, right? So you've got to have it. If you want to build a big business and hit that 2,000 PRV a month, think 2 parties every week. Okay. So 2 parties a week for 2,000 PRV. And also think too, I'm going to flip 1 or 2 of those parties, right? And I'm going to get them I'm going to see if they want to join. I'm going to offer the earn a kit. Okay. Those kinds of things. Also very important proactively that you always have an open party. So if you're a new lead consultant and you don't know this, very important, always open your own parties. You can offer that earn a kit to one of your best customers. Okay. So moving on. Number 4, 2,000 PRV. I feel like I've literally hit the nail, and we're not opening the door anymore. So it's non-negotiable for a leader, I believe, especially if you want to rise. If you want to rise, just go all in. Break it down weekly. Okay. How will you get there? There's 3 ways to do it: individual orders, parties, and Cincy Club. You can see I put in parentheses with each one. There's different things that happen. Individual orders, most time consuming. They're going to take up your most time, no doubt, if you're individually reaching out. I love customer follow-up. Very, very important. You must do it. But I want you to understand, if you're banking your buck on just texting customers throughout the month, that's gonna be a hard road to go down. Okay. You need parties. So those getting just individual orders, but I want you to focus on this month is booking parties. If you're struggling with booking parties, that's what I want your focus to be. Learning about how to book parties, learning how to get these scents in people's faces. That needs to be your goal. And then you can see
scents in people's faces. I like
yeah.
that.
And then you can see the last bullet is Scentsy Club. Okay. That's going to free up your time the most. All you have to do is take care of those customers. Now I use Hit 'em Up. I love that app. It is Hit 'em Up.
Hit 'em up. Hit 'em.
And I have a group text thread for my VIPs, and I have a group text thread for my Scentsy Club. And literally, those are the two groups of people that I will text. Scentsy Club, whenever there is a Always Get My Bar that's about to go away. I'm going to be really focused and intent on that this year. I'm going to be very, very focused on getting paid to club this year. I'm very focused on sampling them certain scents. They get different scents. I'm going to try to be better about posting on the how I'm working page with every club order I do, so y'all can see what I do, but I'm very exclusive for them. And then, so think in your head, out of those three ways, how are you going to secure that PRV this year? That needs to be something that you're going to set a goal for, right? I'm going to grow club by this much by the end of the year. I'm going to hit 2,000 PRV consistently by May. Give yourself time, give yourself many habits, but you've got, more parties, more customers, more PRV. Team. So, focusing on your team, you need to know where it's going. Where's your team going? What direction are you driving them? I feel like me and Justin are very clear with you guys on our direction. Honestly, like we communicate with you guys every Sunday. You guys get what's happening, what's up. We're consistent with meetings. That's what I'm talking about. The focus, the way that you're steering the ship. Whenever you found out about SFR, were you negative or positive on your team pages? That's important. Monthly meetings, connections. I started with one. I promise you, do not think you're not adequate because you don't have some big team. Start with one. Do a daggone FaceTime with them. Okay. I used to use free conference calling, and it was my cousin who joined. Okay. And we would just talk about warmer of the month, and I would talk about samples and where I'm getting my bags from to put the samples in. That's literally what we talked about. So start with one. You're a leader. They joined you for a reason. Mm-hmm. You are adequate, you are capable, and you guys need to know that. Also, I said, are you setting the stage for them? Okay. Meetings, starting with one. So in saying that, with your meetings, there's this meeting myth of, if my team grows bigger, I'm going to do it. No, because then you'll never do it. Start now. I'm going to wait next month to get 2,000 PRV. No, start now. Start going towards that. Start booking. Book 4 parties this month, then 8 next month until you build to 8. Keep going. Don't stop. And then last but not least, leadership development. Okay. Start small, but develop them. How are you going to develop them? A lot of people say, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how to train my team. I'm pretty sure that you promoted. Like when directors tell me they don't know what they're doing, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you got the PRV and that you got that, so we got to stop saying we don't know what we're doing, because you promoted. And even if you don't know all the odds and ends, you know about PRV, you know about sponsoring, and you know how to promote. So we're going to stop saying that this year. We're going to start manifesting. You know what? There are things I need to learn, but dang, I did this, man. Like, I built this. So let's get that mentality. And so helping these people on your teams with leadership, helping develop them to the next level. That's the biggest thing. There's a lot of different ways you can do that, a lot of different ways that you can lead them. But honestly, it can start with a voice text, okay? Critically thinking, if you want to know who to text, your top producers, text them first. Okay, I love everybody, but when I'm looking quickly, if I see somebody with 12,000 PRV, I'm going to text Tori, and I did a few months ago. So critically thinking, start by pulling that workstation, looking at your people that sponsored one person, even if they're not directly under you, it's your team. Look at that person who sponsored, send them a text, tell them you're proud of them, tell them who you are. Hey, I'm Chloe. I just want to let you know I'm your leader, and I see how hard you're working this month. I see, guys, those of you that have a small enough team, if they're active, I see that you're active this month. I'm proud of you. I see that you put in 500 as a leader. Did you know that if you are a leader, that's leadership pay? So you're already doing that. Engraving these things, engraving belief. I'm a firm believer in consistent belief will create repetitive behaviors
Yep.
in other people. So you consistently instilling that belief in them until they believe it, they're going to start making waves.
Well, we have some leaders on here that we've done that with a lot. That
Yeah.
They just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And
I push every leader I train.
Yeah.
You guys know that,
Mhm.
because I want you to be your best self, even if you don't see that. And so last thing I'm going to say before Justin comes on is where God leads you, he equips you, but you must move, you must take action, and you must plan. Okay.
That was awesome, dude. That was good.
All right, Justin.
And I'll just say this. So one thing, and it's not in the notes, but it just made me think about something. And it's something that I was actually sharing today with a client of mine that I was meeting with. Businesses, and we'll keep this in regards to direct sales. So your direct sale, your team, everything always goes towards complacency. It goes to stagnation. I don't even know if that's a word. Everything goes.
Everybody does. It's natural.
Yeah, everybody just likes to get complacent, and everybody likes to become stagnant. You have to work for growth, and growth is not anything that's accidental. Growth happens when there's systems in place. Growth happens when there's passion in place, and growth happens when there's consistency and you're disciplined with it. And so that's why I think it's important here, because I want to say that, like, if you're just sitting back and expecting your business to grow, but you're not putting in the action, it's not going to happen. You're going to become complacent, and you're going to become stagnant, and then you're going to eventually fall off. So what you want to do is always strive for growth, and you have to work for growth. And the way you work for growth,
you got to stretch those growth muscles, baby.
You got to work for growth, and you always have to. One thing I'll say too, when you become a leader, you never know it all. When you become a superstar director, you never know it all. When you become somebody that has 12,000 people on their team, when you become in the top 1%, when you become CEO, whatever it is, you never want to be labeled as somebody who knows it all, because you want to always constantly learn. It's something I try to do every day. Honestly, every day I'm trying to learn something new, sharpen my skills and what I'm doing, developing my craft.
Always.
And so that's what you always are wanting to do. And that's going to help.
I want to interrupt real quick. So a perfect example is when Reels came out on Instagram. So when Reels came out, I didn't know what I was doing. Google wasn't like very helpful because they were super new, but I had to literally stretch my brain. I remember making one reel. If you've made a reel, I made one 8 times. And I told Justin, I was like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm great at them now, because I decided to not be complacent and just skip it all together. I said, no, this is great for marketing. This is great to show product. And I just kept doing it.
Well, and it's a great thing with anticipation. So we sat down one day and was talking about our business and our goals. And my business partner was like, everybody, we need to go all in on Reels right now, because Reels are going to be the new thing, because it's trying to compete with TikTok, and so on and so forth. And it's happened. It's blown up as the new thing. So that's anticipating and learning to get good at it, because it's going to help your business out. If you're not good at social media right now, you need to anticipate that that's the way of the world right now. People are on social media. That's the way it is. So you have to get out and share it. I promise you, if you feel like you don't have nothing to share, that's your own internal thought. Nobody else has the power to make you feel that way except yourself. But I guarantee you, people right now are on their phones more than ever. I hate it, but it's just what they are. They are on their phones, and they are looking at things now more than ever. So share. I promise you, you have one thing that will impact one person if you share it. And so you just got to get consistent at that. So the difference between a good leader and a great leader is one who learns to anticipate rather than react.
I'm a big anticipator. I'm like, no, that's going to be bad. We're not doing that.
I am the type of person, which I know it frustrates Chloe, to where I see the full picture and everything. I am not black and white. It's not this way and that way. For example, the diet we just got on, there's what you can eat, what you can't eat. I'm not worried about either of those pages. I'm worried about, okay, well, what's not on the list?
And why is it not on there? If it's not on the list, we can't eat it.
And
like, I don't understand.
And in leadership, sometimes it's very good to be black and white, but leadership is always mostly in the gray area.
Yeah, well, you need to have grace, and you need to learn that. And it's hard for me.
And you need to be able to see the bigger picture in the situation as what's going on. That's where critical thinking and anticipation grows, is when you're able to just open your eyes and realize that what I'm thinking may not be right. And I know that may shock some people, but sometimes what you're thinking and what you think is the best way may not be the best way, which is why it's awesome in direct sales, and specifically with Cincy, that everybody is their own independent business owner. And once you get that in your mind as a leader, that you have no control of how somebody works their business, that it's your responsibility just to steer them and give them the resources and show them the way, That's going to make you a better leader, and it's going to help you be invested in the right things, which is their activities and their behaviors towards how they're working their business. So whenever I talk about something, I always like to read the definition, because I sometimes think that I think that the definition kind of speaks for itself. So the first thing I'm going to go over is anticipation. So what does anticipate mean? Anticipate means to foresee and deal with it in the present. So it may not be going on, but you're going to go ahead and deal with it now, because as a leader, you have to be good at forecasting what's happening.
AKA SFR. That's something that a lot of directors and above are going to be planning.
So let's talk about something right now, okay? Let's think about Cincy in general, and and I'm going to go over this in a little bit too, more about the circle of control and circle of concern. All right. One thing that you can do as a leader is always understand the way your business looks and go back to last year and see what you did in that certain year. And that's learning. What did you do in PRV in February? What was your recruiting like as a leader? What was this? Okay, well, I'm anticipating that I need to do a training on recruiting, because in February and March, we barely recruited, or we didn't do this, or this happens. That's as a leader and understanding your business and thinking critically. You got to get good at anticipating what's about to happen. Everybody knows that I'm a big fan of, you need to bank on the catalog. All right. Anticipating LTOs, that's going to be great. If it was me, the LTOs are great. You have to share them when you get them. They're awesome, but you need to bank on 2,000 from the catalog. I know that's tough, and I know that's hard.
That's not
but the
tough.
Catalog, no, but a lot of people, I think that, that's just gravy that's on there.
Don't say gravy. Let's say like whipped cream.
Gravy's good. I would love gravy.
I'm a sweet person. Whipped cream with sprinkles.
Right now, all I can eat is egg yolks.
Literally, that's literally
over medium egg.
We're not going to talk about this, but we're not.
All right, so let's talk about how to anticipate in your business. Okay, so you have to understand what you are in control of with anticipation. So communication. All right, communication with your customers, communications with your team. All right, how to anticipate in communication. All right. Being upfront and honest with the information that you have as soon as you get it. All right. No false promises. You always hear me say it. Overpromise or underpromise and overdeliver. Okay. A lot of people have this mentality of overpromising and underdelivering, and you'll lose a customer real quick. You'll lose a team member real quick because of that. So you're in control of that. So an example of that would be, all right, this SFR thing. Maybe some of your team member didn't get it, but as soon as you got the information, it's going ahead right then. That's putting it on the page. But as a leader, anticipating what are we going to do? Because in my team, we're all going to watch this still together. Now it can reach more people. And instead of having a negative tone, you're like, oh my God, this is great. Now my person in California can watch it. All this, we can do it together. Let's figure out a way to do it. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to delegate and bring up another leader for them to plan this event for me.
That's what we do.
Anticipation and doing that. So that's the way you can communicate that. All right. Then it's about, here's something else that you're in control of. So this is all what you can control within Cincy. Yeah. Like I said, within Cincy and the direct sale, you're in control of your actions. All right. That's something that you can anticipate. How are you going to act with this? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that in order to make it better for your business? So that's something with anticipation that you have to get good at as far as with a leader. All right. I know that it's the 15th of the month. All right. I know that I'm already where I need to be. So I need to anticipate, and my action needs to be now to go ahead and book everything for March, go ahead and get ready and see what's on the plan in April. Go back and see if there was any LTO releases last year that Cincy did. Bring back my bars, go through and look, because Cincy's actually pretty consistent on their LTO releases. You can go back and see. You can go back and see what they did and everything, and go ahead and just get ready.
Every month this year, we're going to have an LTO.
But don't bank on that though, and you can anticipate it. But like I said, that's the workstation. The good thing about the workstation is, and guys, why I do what's happening and what's up is to help you guys anticipate and know what's going on. So that's why as a leader, as soon as you get the information, it's communicating and acting and actually going out there.
Take that, copy it, and put it on your team page. That's the purpose of it.
Use it in everything. This is all about making you guys.
Well, because I used to be like, oh, okay, today's Monday. Here's the LTO. And it's like, no, post all that Sunday.
You know about it.
Post all that
Cincy's good about at least giving you 2 to 3 business days. Sometimes I wish they would do 5 because that does do it, but that's just something like I said.
But then it's like when you anticipate it and you share what's happening, what's up, then on Monday when that LTO drops, you can share an image and be like, hey y'all, drop this every time you get an order. We got 5 minutes.
So that's just,
you're hyping them up.
Like I said, as far as with anticipation, what your control of your actions, your emotions. All right. Last year, we had one of the biggest sellouts, whatever you want to call it, with things on back order that we ever had with Cincy. How did you feel with that? Me, I was very optimistic and happy. I was like, holy crap, this is good, because in March, I'm pretty sure everybody felt like, is Cincy going to still be here? Everybody did. Everybody was like, what's going to happen? But there was that thought, because a lot of businesses were shutting down, everything was happening. But then we started growing and everything started happening.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I had a second thought. I remember when I had that dang news on. I don't watch the news no more.
You have to get, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
I had the news on though, and our Cincy trip was canceled that night.
Yeah, and we just didn't know. There was just a.
And I remember feeling, I was like, my group is scared, and I remember thinking they're scared. Like I could feel what y'all felt, like this tension, like what's going to happen, or my grandparents going to be okay with this virus.
That's why you start worrying about what you're in control of.
But then I immediately said nope, and I started posting on the team pages like positive content and planning content and doing all of that.
And working, and so that's why your emotions are so important. If Cincy is out of stock of something, turn that into a positive that people are buying the product. If Cincy cancels an event, turn it into a positive. There's always a bigger picture to everything here, and you have to realize the way you react to a certain situation. If a team member is not doing something, okay, it's not anything against you, so you can't take it personal, even though you're passionate about it. All you can do is reach out, see if there is a disconnect there, and then at the end of the day, it's their business. You have to understand as a leader, as long as you're giving them the resources for them to be successful, there's no reason for you to be upset. Now, there is the boundary to where you cannot let somebody suck the life out of you if you are constantly doing the same thing over and over again with them.
And I feel like we've gotten really good at not doing that, to be honest. Y'all have done an incredible job of that over the past year.
So that's good. So what you're in control of from anticipation, communication, action, emotions. Now, here's another thing. Systems in your business. You are in complete control of that. From an anticipation standpoint, you have to foresee that you are going to grow. So you've heard me say this before. Can you do what you're doing now with 3 team members and 5 Cincy Club customers whenever that grows to 100 and 2,000? Think about it from that way. You're anticipating, you're foreseeing. Okay, I'm right now with 5 people on my team, I feel like I'm overwhelmed. Well, damn, when you get to 50 or 100.
Hey, there's kids. Don't cuss.
Sorry, didn't mean to. Well, when there's more than that, that just from an anticipation standpoint, you have to look at it from that way. And so you have to realize, is what I'm doing now replicatable? Is what I'm doing now based on my goals?
And is it going to suck the life out of me and steal my joy and make me burn out? Or is it going to help me live a better Cincy life?
Yeah. And then the piggyback off of the systems on anticipation is evolution. So that's where your systems are always changing.
Right.
Our systems are going to change.
I never thought I'd be doing Cincy Club full time, but I had to change it last year. I was like, I used to send 8 bag parties out a month. I sent them all over the world.
Listen to this. Y'all are going to be shocked to hear me say this, but I'm making Chloe, when the fall catalog releases, we're not ordering catalogs.
Yes, I am, for my VIPs. Bye.
We're ordering 1 pack of catalogs. You want to know why? QR codes are the #1 trending thing right now, and that catalog that they put on there is so beautiful. So as a leader, you have to understand you will reach 1,000 more people with a QR code of that, or a link that you send in an email or text, than you will ever be, and you save money doing it.
The catalog's more for the nostalgia, for the customer that loves it. I actually did a poll of my customers, and they were like, if you don't send me a catalog, I will be upset.
And look, and that's fine, but I'll tell you what.
But yes,
over the years, that's evolution of what you're seeing. People in the age group that are under us don't want catalogs. I guarantee you, anybody under the age of 25 doesn't really care for a catalog. And if you do, that's awesome. But I'm telling you right now, sending them something or in a mail with a QR code, because I even hate getting mail. If something's not on, Chloe gets frustrated with me, because if we don't have something on auto pay, I'm not going to pay it, because I just don't have checkbooks anymore. Because guess what? When I was still in the bank, when I told somebody that checks were going to go away and you're not going to write checks no more, they called me stupid. But that's the thing. It's evolution. Look, you used to be able to go to grocery stores and give them a check. They don't even take checks no more at the grocery stores. They barely take cash now. So it's always being in that mindset of an evolution as a leader of, what can I provide my team, to make them do less better? That's the goal here. The goal with this is to have mailbox money and do less better. That's the goal with Cincy. And you do that through the 3 legs. So as a leader, you have to always strive for that. If you're adding a task, you have to ask yourself, what is it bringing value in? Is it bringing value and taking away time to where I'm going to increase customers or increase this? Or is it just something I feel like I need to do? I guarantee you there's probably enough resources out there to where you don't need to do the extra thing that's going to take away your time to where you don't focus on building up your PRV and building up potential recruits. All right, that's what I have for anticipation. Now, let's talk about critical thinking. All right, so critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issuing order to form a judgment. That's a mouthful. So basically what's that saying is if there is a situation that comes up or something that happens, how are you taking everything and not looking at it just black and white, but looking at everything in the bigger picture and making the ultimate decision because you're the leader that's going to be best for your team. That's critical thinking.
Yeah.
All right. And then you can take that in all of life. You probably critically think every day. If you're a parent, if you're in your job, you have to critically think every day. I did it in banking for 11 years. I still do it every day with my marketing. The plans I put out for people with Smash, with Cincy, is something that you have to do every day. But what you have to be as a leader with critical thinking is knowing, okay, I'm the leader. I need to do this and not depend on somebody else to do it for me, because it's going to make me a better person. And I'm going to learn how to do it. And then I'm going to be able to share this information to pass it on to somebody else to do it. All right. So let's understand how to critical think as a leader. All right. The number one thing that makes you think critically and make the right informative decisions is understanding the resources you have available. And guys, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The day you join Cincy, you have all the resources you need to be a successful Cincy consultant without a coaching call, without anything. There are so many resources out there for you to be able to, on day one that they send you. All it takes is for you to have the passion, the patience, and the focus to sit down and actually look and go through the content that you have and not want somebody else to tell you how to do it. I'm telling you that right now. That will save so much time and so much of your energy if you get that part of critical thinking down in your head. And I'm not saying that coaching calls are bad, because what you want to do is find out how somebody is going to work by what they are doing and not what you're asking them to do. Because at the end of the day, you're building independent consultants, not dependent consultants. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you right now, understanding the resources and how to distribute those resources is amazing.
Well, right? And you guys are on Anchored In. That's a resource. There are so many people on there with YouTube channels, with trainings, with files, with all these things. That's a resource. Your leadership page with your leader. That's a huge resource.
Now, me saying that is not an excuse for you to be mean. It's not an excuse for you to be standoffish. It's not an excuse to do that. What that is saying is, I'm going to make sure that when my new consultant joins, from the beginning, they have everything they need to be successful, understanding why they joined Cincy, what they want out of Cincy, and giving them in that area that that's what they want. Okay, this person is just wanting to have it because they love the product. Okay, I'm gonna give her everything they need to be successful, plus send them some resources if they want to grow a team. Boom. Because I guarantee you, a lot of people say that they just want to join to buy the product. The first time they start buying it and they see that paycheck 2 months, and then they're like, oh gosh, now somebody wants to join under me. And then they start seeing that. We've had so many people that that's happened to. So I will say that understanding the resources, how to distribute
and making sure they know what resource you are.
Yeah.
Like my team knows and my leaders know, hey, when you want to get to this next level, you tell me, you come to me. I'm not going to text you and say, hey, we going to director this month, but they know when they're ready to go, we're going to make a plan. And that's the resource I can offer. And that's important too. That they know, hey, if they're ever ready to do more or whatever, they can come to you.
And look, that's why, and I've shared it on the page a couple of times. I told Chloe, whenever you go into a job, we got to start treating it like that. There's an orientation. So I've created documents, and I know a lot of you guys have actually used that.
I'm reading that, and some are creating their own out of it. That's the whole goal.
So that's the whole goal. So whenever Chloe and I, and you guys know we're the most transparent people ever in Cincy. Whenever we
that's why we don't get nominated for nothing.
Seriously. But anyways, but the reason why we share so many things is because once it works for us, we're like, all right, this is saving time and money. Now, when we get a new consultant, guess what? We're going to know if they're serious about it or not, because there is a checklist of things for them to do to make sure they're ready to go.
That's what we do.
And that way, when you have that first coaching call with your new team member, you're like, okay, let's talk about this. How are you going to implement this? What are you worried about? Is it overwhelming? It's not supposed to be. Now, what we were doing was very overwhelming. When I stepped in February and Chloe was showing me what all these people were getting, I'm like, why are you sending so much stuff? In my opinion, a new consultant, when they come on, look, a new consultant, when they come on.
It was great, but not duplicatable. And you may do those things with a smaller team, but I also love gifts and I love giving gifts. I have a big problem.
Well, it's not even about gifts. It was just, that was.
Yes, it was. I had glitter in there.
But it was too much information. It was information overload, and that could cause somebody to be like, okay, I wish I had one on me. I'm a firm believer in nobody ever reads an employee handbook when they get it. You don't. I guarantee you half the people on this call, or I would say 98% of the people, have not flipped through the full consulting guide that Cincy has.
You know what? You don't know my people. They have read the consulting guide.
I'm just saying it because I just know there's things that people just don't read it. But some people on here might not even know how to access the consulting guide.
But y'all still learned all the things.
What I'm saying is, I will say that most people, when they get employee handbooks, whenever you get a job, they don't flip it. They just fill out the direct deposit form and their tax withholding because all they care about is getting paid.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying,
stop talking real quick because you're literally making, okay, let's be clear. When my consultants join, I have the consultant handbook in one of my tasks that they have to click and read
for
through.
Sure.
When my consultants join, I tell them to read it. I tell them to do those things. Did I do that? No, but I actually don't read anything. I can't even read a freaking book.
And that wasn't meant to be in a negative context. But I'm just saying, when I used to hire people, that would just be happening. So with critical thinking, I'm not confusing anybody, but with critical thinking, you have to understand, okay, what information can I pull? And the frequently asked questions, however you want to put it, what can I do as a leader to make it easier for them to understand how to be successful? In my opinion, when somebody just joins as a Cincy consultant, it's not even a three-legged stool yet, it's a pogo stick. They're on sales. They got to get their sales. They got to bounce. They're going to bounce on that. They're going to bounce on that sales for a little while.
I've been on a pogo stick before in my business. It's okay. We've all been there where like the legs really are not working.
Yeah. So let's talk about this now. Critical thinking with a circle of concern and circle of control. So like I said, your control is what you have to critically think on a lot of. But what I want to talk a little bit about is critically thinking when something goes wrong at the home office that you have no control over. All right. No control whatsoever, meaning product status list, something goes bad, the warmers are messing up. We went through that with a sheep warmer. We're going through that with the Glimmer and Glow. We're going through all this stuff when a team member, is not doing, something that they need to do. And whenever there's negativity on your team page, as a leader, critical thinking plays into that. Okay. What you cannot control is how somebody acts, but what you can do as a leader is correct that. And you can make sure that this is what we do as a leader on this page. Control how you react. When Cincy has stuff that goes out of stock, okay, are you going to be in the mindset of, oh gosh, everything's ending? Or are you going to be like, okay, this is fine. If I don't have a system, let me make a system on back order and just clearly communicate with my customers on when this is going to be, share that information with my team members on how I'm doing that so they can do that with their customers so we don't lose no customers and nobody loses faith in Cincy. So that's big with critical thinking there. You have to understand how to do that.
And the most important thing he's going to say
with critical thinking is you have to limit your distractions.
This is for my squirrels. I understand it's hard, but you've got to stop getting distracted.
So I think I say this a lot to Chloe. There is never a 911 emergency in Cincy.
Unless honestly, I have somebody pass away. That's emergency. That's
sure.
The only, obviously, or somebody's really sick.
But what's urgent and needs your attention right away, and what can wait 24 hours so you continue to work on your systems? All right. As a leader, you have got to work on limiting your distractions. And if it's a day where you have to do follow-ups, but then all of a sudden somebody's texting you because a news article was published that they didn't agree with, whatever, so on and so forth, you as a leader be like, hey, that's fine. We'll get to it. But right now, this is what I'm doing today. Let's talk about this tomorrow. Or let's talk about this
Or
then.
do your task.
Yeah.
What one of our leaders, Chastity Robinson, does, she's at SSD. She won't even respond to text until she's done her stuff.
Yeah.
And you've got to get to that point. If you've got your things to do, I'm bad at this. Y'all know I'll respond all day. Hey, what's up? Voice texting about gym in it and all this stuff. But you've got to get your stuff done. So don't feel guilty if you got to put that, ignore some of those team things so you can get your PRV secure so you can reach towards that big goal of getting 2,000 for the first time or whatever.
Yeah, but that's probably one of the main things. And so with critical thinking, you have to know when to not look at your phone, You have to know when to not.
Mine goes on silent at 9 p.m. every night, and I always keep it on silent.
Yeah. And you just got to get good at that. So you have to make sure as a leader, when you're thinking critically, okay, is this something that I need to focus on right now? No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just have to, you have to ask yourself that question. If I don't do this thing right now, is this going to end everything?
Yeah.
And it's not anything negative.
Well,
if you're not, and look, if people are texting you, you're not responding, they may look at that like, man, she must be working. It's not
there's people who text me all the time. There's people who texted me last week because I was recovering from our big event. I just didn't even respond because I was like recovering, but I was like, they'll be fine. So you have to get to that point to know that like, they're not going to hate you if you work your business or whatever. Yeah. Limit distractions is huge, especially with social media. It's like, get off, stop scrolling Instagram and stop scrolling Facebook if you don't have your goals set. Amen. If you have not reached your goals or you're not actively reaching your goals for that day, do not scroll because y'all already know it will just get real intense. You'll just be looking at your friends and looking at this and looking at that. It's crazy. So I think, are we done?
Yeah. That's
do y'all have any questions? We're going to open it up for like 5 more minutes for any questions y'all have for me or for Justin. It can be about anything with business, anything with leadership, any question that y'all have for us. This will be on YouTube. Yeah. We're going to put this on YouTube for your teams. So they have the ability to listen out on it. And yeah, I'm really excited about this catalog. You guys are already doing an amazing job. Y'all are selling like crazy. And this is going to be a good year. It's going to be a new year. It's going to be a new way that we got to work, but we're ready. You know what I mean? We're ready. And we know that we're ready to like steer y'all and we're ready to take this home, baby.
And I feel like, what we're doing as far as this year and what I'm going to try to focus on with the trainings is we're going to try, some of the stuff may sound repetitive, but it's going to have new things in there.
We're going to really try and do new content.
Yeah, new content. And so basically, in January, we introduced mini habits. All right. Mini habits. Chloe did a whole training on mise en place, which is a chef term on how to make sure that your business is prepared every day from another proactive standpoint. And then now we introduce you to making sure you're having your goal, having the mini habits to get there. And then now we're introducing anticipation and critical thinking. All of these are great leadership, traits that you need. And so we're going to try to introduce one of those every month, a new leadership trait that you can take. All right.
Okay. So one quick question. Let's see. We got a Cincy Club one. So Christina Jackson, for Cincy Club advertising, do you have any advice for more customers besides posting social media stories and sending out the printout? You need to strive towards 2,000 PRV a month, actively keeping up with your customers, building great relationships with them so you can get them into club aside from social media.
And making sure
pull that off of just there. You got the more orders you get, guys, and the more PRV you have, the more people you have to share club with. That's why PRV is important to me, because that's new people, new club. Take care of them. My club is exclusive. All of that verbiage is important too. Like my club people know they're going to get the better samples. They're going to get.
And just make sure you understand the scents that are in the catalog and the scents that are going away. And you can make sure, hey, you need to put this on club or bring back my bar. Hey, if you really like this, you better put it on your club. We can do this. Or if somebody loves laundry and stuff like that, just share it.
Your follow-up. When you're doing your follow-ups, incorporate club more, guys. The more you talk about it, the more it's going to grow. Yeah. Right. So that's my best tip. Just make sure that's in all your customer follow-up. And if your PRV isn't at 2,000, make that your first goal, because I guarantee you're going to get more people in club because you're going to have more customers. How many times do you reach out to new recruits before you bless and release them due to no interactions? I don't really. So to new recruits, I'm really big their first month on getting them started and doing all of that. They know after that to ask me questions, and I tell them that. So I think communication is important, and telling them, hey, so, we're done with the training. These are your goals. This is what you're doing. About Shooting Star, about Sensational Start. This is when it ends. Let me know what you need in between. Please be active on Anchored Sense. Text me, during my business hours. If you have questions about making labels and business cards, I tell them I want to see it, but I don't personally go and keep texting them those things because they're business owners. Yeah. So that's what I do. And if they're not interacting with me, I'm not even texting them to begin with. If I have team members that don't respond to me, it only takes a couple times. I'm like, okay, that's fine. but like, I'm going to move on to somebody else, because every time you focus on those people not producing or not interacting, you're really missing out on blessing other people and taking that time and energy, not into feeling like, why are they not responding? Stop. They're not you. That's not your yard. Get back in your yard, and focus on blessing new people.
All right. So let's
Any other questions?
Yeah. Best tips on training your teams. My dilemma is legit. All my teams hate social media and are struggling to book parties, recruit, etc. And it's so hard because I'm so about social media and I'm struggling on how to train on something that I do opposite. Recruit more people. Keep recruiting.
Well, no. So I would bring other people in, maybe from other teams, other directors, other people within these groups, to come and maybe train your team. Like Wendy Heath Newgas is a great partier. She's not in this group, but she would definitely train your people. Looking at people that are great in those areas that you're not great in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer. Like, I'm not going to try and make something happen that can't happen that I'm not good at. I'm going to find other people that are good at that can come on that leadership training you do this month, quarter, whatever, and they can come and they can speak on how they do stuff off social media. Find somebody who's really good at doing that you're not good at, and let them step in.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I would do.
Iron sharpens iron. That's something I say all the time. Iron sharpens iron. So you got to make sure you lean into your resources.
Yeah. Can you tell us more on the what's happening, what's up? So what's happening, what's up? We post every Sunday on Anchored Sense.
Sometimes Monday mornings.
Anchored In, which is this leadership page, and on the director page. And Justin posts the upcoming stuff for the week. So if y'all are missing that, check it Sunday nights or early Monday morning. And Justin literally goes through the news tab, through every event that's going on, anything that's going to be leaving Cincy product wise or whatever. And he posts images and all of that for you guys and for your teams.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it. That's all.
Question. What can I do to have better combos with people? Just practice. Keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking.
I'm so I used to be horrible at having conversations with people. It just gets better.
Yeah.
It just gets better. You just got to practice.
I think that's it. That's it.
Okay. All right. That is it. All right. So stop the recording.
All right.
All right.